So when we talk about you've got to have a plan, you have to understand that your plan is going to continually be changing with the times. So the concept that I follow and abide by, that I want you guys to understand, is that the principles remain the same, but the processes will change. So you've got to have a plan, like a business plan, maybe a 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plan, and then understand that the plan's going to change. Like the processes will change, but your principles are going to remain the same. We don't need to talk about what the principles are because it's the 4 vital behaviors. Like literally, if you think about it, like we're on a Zoom chat right now. 6 years ago, we didn't really have Zoom chats. So I might have been dialing in on a speakerphone, right? 5 years from now, I could feel like I was sitting at that little coffee table there with virtual reality glasses on. I don't know, right? Everything's going to change with the time. We can't predict that, but the principles are going to remain the same, which are the four vital behaviors. We don't need to touch on those. So make sure that you have a plan. Like as you guys are brainstorming this weekend, like come up with a plan for 2018, a strategy for launching programs, launching products, having concrete goals and action plans for the goals, how you guys can work together, how you can use Jennifer's strength combined with Michael's strengths, right? With everybody's strengths there. Like how can you work together and make a plan? The next thing that I think that would be number one. Number two would be like have like an experienced team of advisors. And you might be like, okay, what is that? So I look at Team Beachbody. They have their team, like there's Michael, there's Jeff. They just recently hired Luigi away from Herbalife, who's a doctor who is a specialist in nutrition and family medicine. And he's the new advisor for Beachbody to educate the coach network on the value of the ingredients of our products. Right, so that would be considered an advisor, an experienced advisor. Like all those people are advisors. The 8 cab members are somewhat experienced members that are there to give feedback. And what this team of advisors would be to help you guys understand it a little bit better. Because I'm helping you guys understand outside of just this little Beachbody coach world into a legitimate business. So a team of advisors would be, one thing that's important is that as you find these people in your life and for your business, that you set your ego aside and you're willing to learn, to take positive criticism, feedback, in order so that you personally can improve your team. So you got to be willing to take feedback from these people. So who could an advisor be? It could be an upline coach. It could be me. It could be your corporate regional manager that's assigned to your region. It could be a sideline coach, a crossline coach. You know, we talk about accountability partners, but I think it's important that you have a group of people that you can reach out to and show your business to and what's going on and have them give you feedback. Okay? How many of you guys are doing that? Like reaching out to someone and saying, hey, this is what's going on in my business, to multiple people. Okay, so you guys are doing pretty good on that. So that would be one thing. So remember, everything that I'm teaching you is what you can do, and then you can also do with your teams and teach your teams to do. Number 3 is and this has been the hardest one for me. The third thing to having like longevity in your business is to be aware of your strengths. Okay? So be aware of your strengths. I want you guys to write that down. And then, and Gary Vee talks about this all the time. He's like, F your weaknesses. Everybody's focused on your weaknesses. You need to develop your strengths and cash in on that. I'm going to go a little bit further than that. Be aware of your strengths and work in that area, because like if you want to have longevity in your business, you have to have fun and be in love with what you do. Hands down. If you don't like what you do, or it's annoying some days, or you're irritated with some parts of your business some days, you're not going to last long term. You're not going to last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. You'll burn out. You won't be excited. Then your team won't be excited. They'll be burnt out, and that whole thing will happen. So be aware of your strengths and work in them. So what does that mean on the other part? Is you need to be able to delegate the tasks and the things in your business that are not your strengths, that are your weaknesses. Okay. And I know and understand that in the beginning, or if you don't have a large income yet, that this can be a hard part to do, to delegate things, because we all think that we can do everything the best. Okay. But you need to develop your strengths, work in the area of your strengths. Like I would say, like this is a random number off my head, but I would spend at least 80% of your day doing the parts that you absolutely love and that are in the area of your strength. At least 80%. And then the other 20% that you don't like should be delegated to somebody else. Delegated to somebody else. So like, how can that work? So obviously you guys know I have a large business, and if you guys don't know, I have two assistants. I assign them the things in my business, for example, that I don't necessarily, I like to do them, but I don't love to do them. So I'll give you guys an example. Friday is my date day at 10 o'clock. Well, today 12, because Gabby's going to this school for a volunteer thing. We usually go on dates from 10 to 3. Now today it's 12 to 3. Like today I have a to-do list. I delegated my to-do list to my assistant, because the most important things for me to do, or the things that I love to do, are speaking with you guys and doing the one-on-one call I did with Carl and the phone call I have with my prospect after this call. Those are my strengths: getting on the phone with people, doing a video with people, teaching people. And so in all honesty, my follow-up list right here today, like I'll show it to you. It's on my phone too, but I texted it to my assistant, and I said, will you reach out and continue the conversation for me with all of these people? I usually do that task every day, but today I had to delegate that so I could do the most important things for my business and the things that I love the most for my business. On a normal day, I have the time and I do it and I love it. But you've got to be willing, if you want to do this long term, to delegate things. So like I'm talking about delegating something to an assistant, right? And that's going to cost, I know that's going to cost money. And you guys maybe in the beginnings of your business, or at a certain stage of your business, don't have money to delegate to pay somebody to do things. But what you do have is the ability to delegate within your team, which will also help increase their confidence, their sense of belonging, that you trust them, and that they feel like they're a part of something. Okay? So does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, for example, the Coach Sneak Peek group that I'm going to run, I'm delegating the setting up process. I'm delegating the setting up and the signing of my new coaches to one of my coaches. They're going to set it up. I give them the list of my 5 new coaches, and they're one of them. And I know this because I know their strength from their Getting Started Right call. They're going to organize it. And then the part I'm going to do in that group is I'm going to be in that group every day answering questions and teaching, because that's the part that I love. I don't love the setting up part and the organizing part, but my coach is great at organization, great at setting up stuff, and so forth. Does that make sense of how I'm doing that? And so what does that do for me personally as a leader? What can that do for you as a leader? I spend less time doing the things that are kind of stressful for me or create a little anxiety for me, and I do more time doing the things that I love to do. Honestly, for me to get on the phone with that coach and say, and compliment them on their strength of organization, compliment them on finishing week 4 of their program, and then saying, hey, are you willing to help me with something? You're really great at this. Are you willing to help? And they're like, yeah, I'd love to help. Like that 25-minute phone call, right, to them was empowering to me. It uplifted me. It made me feel good, because that's the area of my strength, what I like to do. And then their area of their strength is organization and feeling like they're a part of something and that they're contributing. And so they get to use their strength. I get to use my strength, and the task gets done. Does that make sense?
Yes.
setting up of the group gets done. I could have took the 25 minutes and set up the group myself, or I could empower that coach and do what I love to do, which is talking to someone, getting to know them better, and helping them find their strength. So when you're thinking about being aware of your strengths and delegating, I want you to think of it like that. If you're not in the position yet to pay somebody to help with your Instagram, or pay somebody to clean out your inbox and your mail, or whatever it is, there's ways for you to delegate inside of the team. For example, Carl that's listening to this call right now, last week was Thanksgiving, and I was with my family, and Carl's a great teacher. He's like neuro-linguistic programming. He's great at NLP. He's a great leader. He's great with people. He's read a lot of books. So I had Carl teach the team. Carl led the team call. So I delegated the task of leading and teaching the team call to Carl so that I could do what I needed to do on Thanksgiving. Does that make sense? So do more delegating. You do the things that are your strengths and then learn to delegate. And you're going to have more energy and more love for what you do, which is going to help with your longevity. Okay, so that was number 3. Number 4 is a very important one. You can't measure. No, you can't manage what you can't measure. Okay, you can't manage what you can't measure. So you need to identify in your business what your key performance indicators are. So write down key performance indicators, and you can't manage what you can't measure. So a lot of times I think we as a culture of Beachbody just get caught up in measuring only, for example, measuring only Success Club points. Would that be kind of true to say that for the most part? Or there's just a lot of emphasis on that and not on anything else?
Yeah.
So think about what are the key performance indicators? And I'm going to tell you what mine are when I've been most successful or felt most successful and seen the most movement in my business, which is right now, believe it or not. Right now and in my very first year. Mine are any volume point at all. That's a key performance indicator. So any volume point. So what I'm working on doing with my personally sponsored coaches right now, and if you don't have very many personally sponsored coaches, or you have enough time right now to work with more than just your personally sponsored coaches and go levels deep, is checking the volume once a week. Like checking, you can click on the volume and you can see who produces what volume amount. That's a key performance indicator for me. You can identify and find who has more than 90 volume points. Like anybody that has more than 90 volume points, let's say 180, 200, 250, they have customers that they're working with. And that's somebody that's already seeing success of some sort, which gives you the opportunity to go into one of the vital behaviors and recognize them, encourage them, give them a shout out, and challenge them to continue with their role of what they're doing as a coach and to do a little bit more. So checking people's volume points, where they're at, and encouraging them to do more. One of the things that I'm doing, you can check the team call that I did yesterday. If you guys want to watch it at some point, I gave a worksheet with how to track your own volume and all of our products with how much volume they can create, and teaching my team, my personally sponsored coaches and my team, to set volume goals for themselves, like their own personal volume, but also how to track and teach their coaches how to set personal volume goals, so that we don't build emerald rank coaches and diamond rank coaches that everybody just has 90 volume points. So you can have your coaches setting goals to become 500 volume producers a week, 1,000 volume producers a week. But the call that I did yesterday breaks down specifically, like a goal sheet, how your coach can set a 500 volume goal a month, to start with, and what 500 volume for them, personal volume of sales, equals in commission. So if you want to watch that, it's on my YouTube channel yesterday. But that's one of the things that I'm doing to measure and manage the things that I know will grow my business and my team and my volume and my commissions and my income, but also the commissions, volume, and income of my coaches, which is the volume. So that call will teach you exactly what products produce how much volume, how to connect your different ways to run groups, different ways to host events so that you can create those volume opportunities for your coaches. So that's one of the things. Yes, Success Club is going to be one of the key performance indicators. Volume is going to be an even more important key performance indicator for me. And then the third one is, for me right now, is tracking my customers and my coaches' transformations, right? So I will be the first to admit that one of the biggest downfalls of my business for the past 2 to 3 years is I had no idea what day of what program any of my coaches were on. And like, I can like count on one hand, I can count on two hands, the transformation submittals to the Beachbody Challenge of my personally sponsored coaches that I know about. Like, to know whether or not they finished their program and submitted it to the Beachbody Challenge. I can tell you who's hit Success Club over the past 3 years, who's advanced in rank, who has increased their volume, but I cannot tell you who has started, finished programs, and submitted to the Beachbody Challenge. No idea. With my coaches, I knew somewhat with my customers, but that's one of the key performance indicators of my business seeing more success and moving forward. And it wasn't happening because I couldn't manage it because I wasn't measuring it. I wasn't tracking what my customers were doing. I didn't have a legitimate system to track what they were doing. So that's one of the first things, one of my top priorities right now in my business is making sure that a coach and a customer is accountable to me and starting, finishing, and submitting their results to the Beachbody Challenge. Okay, because if they're doing that, the rest of the magic's going to happen where they share their transformation, where they get excited about it, and they share it with other people, and that's going to bleed through and help build your business. So each of you guys are going to be individual and different and specific, so I want you guys to think about what are you measuring in your business? Because you can't manage it for the long term unless you're measuring it. So those are the things I'm doing: transformations, volume of PS coaches and myself, and then Success Club. The fifth one is, yes.
Question on the transformation. So like, how are you measuring that? Are you spreadsheet of like when people say they're starting or?
Yeah. So I haven't changed my process of being pen and paper type of person. I'm still pen and paper. I specifically use a note card, and I know who's on what page, on who's on what day of the transformation, and it's been great. It's been great for me. For example, I have written 22 before/after transformations in the past 4 months in my blog. From people that I started on a program and they finished it. And so I just track it in my notebook, just like I do my prospects. I just track that way. And I let them know that we're going from the beginning. I let them know we need your transformation. We need your before measurement pictures, because at day 30, or when you finish the beta stage of T25, we're going to submit your results to Beachbody Challenge and you're going to get your free shirt. So I made that decision at Summit when I saw them give that award away to the person that had the most Beachbody Challenge submittals. That's when I was like, oh crap, like I have no idea even how many people I have that submitted their results. And so that's when I made that decision and that shift. And it's been a phenomenal shift in people being confident, getting their transformations and pushing forward with that.
Is there a way to see how many people have submitted that?
Not unless you wrote Beachbody. I don't think you could, unless you like asked the regional sales manager to pull a report for you. They don't have that. But let me make a note, and I can ask them if that could be a report that we could have in the Coach Online office. So give me 1 second. Let me write it, because I'm not good at talking and writing.
When I finish a beginner group, I tell people to do that, like if I don't go specifically one-on-one and ask, have you submitted it, there's just no way of knowing if they have or haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, and that would actually be some good information, like if there was a way to get a report of like how many people
with you listed as their submitted results. Like if
Yeah.
somebody that submitted results 2 years ago, it would be a great place to follow up and say like, hey, you submitted results for 21 Day Fix 2 years ago. Like, what have you been doing since? You know?
Yeah. So I'll ask him about that. That'll be good for us to know. Okay. So I got that. I had this thought. Oh, another thing that just came to mind. Did you guys see, and you probably haven't because you're at the retreat. One thing that we worked on CAB that they did is like if somebody cancels their coach account, like you have no idea who you inherit, like customers and coaches and whatnot. They're sending you an email when somebody cancels of the customer and their ID number and any PS coaches or downline coaches or one level coaches, which is pretty cool because I got a list this morning of like 30 something customers that I can reach out to from a coach that had canceled that had like 30 customers in their database, and I inherited them. Like I wouldn't have seen them because I have thousands of customers, but now I have their ID number and their name. So that's something good to know. So when we talk about can they pull this report, I'm sure they can because they're pulling that report and emailing it to our emails now on if there's any cancellations. So there's a lot of good things coming. There's good things coming. The fifth thing that I want to talk about real briefly is sales and marketing, like the difference between sales and marketing in your business. Remember, these are some key things for the longevity of your business. There's a difference between sales and marketing because you can spend a lot of time, you and the coaches that you teach, marketing or using social media, Instagram, YouTube, blogging, Facebook, Snapchat, any of these things. They can spend lots of time marketing and make no sales. So understanding the difference between sales and marketing is going to save you time, but also save you time and money for you and for your coaches. So I don't want any of you guys to waste your time. I don't want any of you guys to waste your money. I want us to make a difference, change people's lives through these programs, help them get their transformation, live a healthier, fulfilling life, and help our coaches earn money. Like that's what I want. So I don't want wasted time and I don't want wasted money for anybody. So I think it's important that there is a strategic sales process in place. I want you to think about that. Successful long-term businesses have a strategic sales process in place. So what does that mean? The places I have fallen short in this in the past is because of my experience as a missionary, knocking on someone's door, telling a story, connecting with somebody, inviting them to join the church or to listen to our message. Like I had that ability before Beachbody. So I can sell. I can get on the phone. I can knock a door. I can call somebody and I can sell. But not everybody can do that. So I think so that's one of the biggest mistakes that I've made is that I don't want to say I expected, but I thought everybody could do that. Like at least they could do it 1/10 of what I can. And if they could do it 1/10 of what I could, they could have a great business, right? So if I have $1 million business, hey, they could have a $100,000 business if they could just do 1/10 of what I do. But that was an error in thinking in my part, and would not sustain longevity in my business. I needed a strategic sales process. So the strategic sales process for me was being consistent in doing an opportunity, like a coach opportunity where I could make the sale for my coaches that don't know how to do it yet. So I could sell them. I could do the sell for them until they can learn to do it on their own. Versus just saying, hey, here's the training. Here's your why. You got this. If you know your why, you're going to go through all the hard stuff and you're going to make it happen. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately, for the most part. So I had to come up with a strategic sales process, which is, for me, it's a 5-day coach sneak peek where I do the sales. I teach them. I do the educating, the sales. I answer the questions. I answer the objections. But I do let my coaches teach the things. I let them educate inside of the group. But I make the sell at the end. I do the closing. I have them, I answer the questions that are asked, the objections that come up, and I do all of that hard stuff for them. And then they get what happens when they do that. They see me do that. So all I have to teach my coaches to do in the beginning is how to copy and paste the topic for the day, how to teach what they copied and pasted. So basically to make a note card of the topics they need to hit and make a video on it. And then any questions that come up, I let them know that I'll answer. They can answer it. If they don't know it, I'll answer it for them. And then the only other thing I have to teach them is how to indirectly and without any fear invite somebody into that group so that I can sell them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's my strategic sell process. So what I would do as a team, you guys together collaborate as leaders or in partnerships and accountability groups, is make sure that you, as you work on the number one thing we talked about, having a plan, is that you put a sales strategy, like a sales process strategy into your business so that your coaches have something to plug into that's not so scary. Because remember, we're going to simplify this, help them get a win. Like if you can get your new coach to bring 5 people in, like you can sell one of those 5 people at least a Beachbody On Demand for them, get them their first customer and $40 commission, right? If you get in there and you put the energy and effort and focus into running that group, because you guys hit Success Club every month and you guys have attached your business, you guys can make the sell. They don't know how to yet. So if you can do that for them, that's going to help a lot. So I'm gonna move on because we could talk about each of these topics for like an hour. So as long as you guys have these, you guys can mastermind together, come up with solutions, and then message me later for some more if you need them. Number 6 is technology, is understanding how it works in your business. Understand how technology works in your business. So technology is going to be everything from a Zoom chat to a video, even understanding how writing a Facebook message, like texting out a Facebook message, to understanding how leaving a voice message on Messenger is more impactful and effective. That's understanding technology in your business a little bit. It's understanding that concept. It's understanding right now that Instagram stories are the most impactful way to connect with somebody. So understanding technology. Right? So I won't go into detail on that because that's pretty much self-explanatory. Understand how technology works inside of your business. Understand how it doesn't work as well. One thing that I'm understanding how technology doesn't work as well, is I went so into technology because you can expand to the UK, to Canada, to Tennessee, to New York City, to California. But what I didn't understand and recognize, or I missed out on because I focused so much on that, is that also there's a lot more power in face-to-face. Right? There's more power in actually meeting up with somebody and having a coffee with them, or meeting up with 5 or 6 people in your community that are coaches or customers and having a get together, face-to-face interactions and communities. So one thing that I'm working on right now, it's not even fully in the process yet, is Megan Rencher. She's on the Shift Shop, and in the Shift Shop DVD, she's in our downline under Brigida's downline. She moved from Utah to Idaho Falls. So for example, she's the strongest leader here in Idaho Falls with me. So we're masterminding together on how to create, we're going to call it the Coach Connection, where every other week we're going to get together and just do an activity, whether it's a dinner, whether it's sledding at the park with the kids. We're going to get together with local coaches and network more face-to-face. So that's understanding technology, and the fact that technology sometimes takes you away from the personal connections. So understanding technology, there's a lot of aspects to it, understanding different platforms that come out, how to use them, what's most effective. So one of the things that I've done is my phone calls, it's very rare now. Like I do 1 phone call a day with a prospect, 1 phone call a day at least with one of my coaches. That's like a non-negotiable for me. I was always calling them on the phone. I've gone non-negotiable. I call them on Facebook Messenger or on video so I can see their face. Right? So there's small things in technology that if you can understand how they work, it's going to make like that small shift can make a huge difference. And I've seen the face-to-face video on every call versus a phone call helps me in so many different areas of reading their cues. I can tell when I say something, if they like back up a little bit or if they sigh. I can see visually when they're scared, when they're nervous, when there's doubt, when there's fear, and we can work through that versus just say, okay, go do it. Like I told you about to go do it. I can see when they have a doubt and I can help them work through that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's understanding technology in your business. So number 7 is, this is a little bit bigger, but I think it's important. And right now you may see like, how does this relate to Team Beachbody? But I've seen it drastically impact people's businesses inside of Team Beachbody. And it's understanding the difference between cash flow and profit. So how much money is coming out of your business and how much is coming in? And I'm trying to teach you guys longevity and business thinking outside of Beachbody coaching. But like, I'll give you guys an example. My income is down about 30% from last year, 35% from last year. Okay. Like I'm okay. Right. But I'll tell you why I'm okay. Like I support a family of 7. I support full-time, 1 assistant in California. I support my mom and dad financially. So my payroll is about $160,000. That's my payroll. What I pay to assistants and to my parents. That's a lot of money, right? Plus I support my own family. And so I think it's important to understand this because in business over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, there's going to be times like this, okay? And so if you're in one of this and you're not in a good financial place financially, you're going to work out of fear. I know Michael's going to chuckle because Michael's driven by working out of fear, but and that's his personality. But you want to be working out of faith and hope, right? And in a good place, not so much out of fear. So what has happened is in Beachbody, I'll just say it straightforward, is there were elite coaches that have walked away. There's strong Star Diamond coaches that have walked away to do other opportunities thinking the grass is greener on the other side. And I'll tell you one of the main reasons is because they didn't understand the difference between cash flow and profit, or they left their jobs too early. Or they left their jobs and didn't take care of themselves financially, or they left their jobs, or they made more money and spent more money. Does that make sense? So in a business, you have to understand that. The concept of how much money is coming in, how much money is coming out. And so, for example, the Greenbergs, something that they're doing phenomenal, or they're doing really well through this time, is Michael's taking the money that they're earning and he's investing in cabins and he's making money on the side. Right? Where they can still focus on Beachbody and make money in a way that's okay, right? That's a good way, investing money into places that are good. We, for example, have done the same thing. Like when we started making more money, I live in the same house. Like we made over $1 million for 3 years in a row. I still live in the house I bought for $183,000. What I've seen too many coaches do, I'm not speaking to you guys, to coaches that I've seen crash and burn, is like I saw coaches still make $100,000 a year with Beachbody and walk away because they were afraid. But why? Because they used to make $50,000, they made $250,000, and they spent $250,000, and their business went down to $150,000. Now they can't pay their bills, and so they get scared, and so they go do something else. Does that make sense? So understand how much money is coming into your business, how much comes out, and always prepare for the future and for the rainy days. So invest your money into good places. And this is something probably a little contrary to what I've ever taught before, is focus. And Beachbody talked about it at leadership. I'm not even talking about people wanting to walk away from their jobs. Not at all. When I'm talking to a new coach, that's not even a goal that we talk about in the future. I'm talking about how to take your family to Disneyland, how to take your family on that vacation. Like I've never taken my family on a vacation for 5 years. I'm working on getting that win for them and focusing on Beachbody is a side income. Beachbody is a side gig where they can make extra money. Yes, I know and fully believe that people can do this full time, But too many people are, and this goes apart from what I'm talking about, the difference between cash flow and profit, but too many people have this huge goal, including your coaches, of retiring their spouse or leaving their job that they hate. And that is such a hard goal to hit. Possible, very possible. But it's so big that they get discouraged at the smallest things because it's so far away. So guys, you know why Jennifer's at where she's at? I'll walk through it once again. She wanted to get her nails done, and she wanted to buy shoes without Mike getting upset at her for spending extra money, right? What was the next goal? Her stupid job wouldn't give her a new chair that was cut open and the foam, the insides of it were coming out, and she wanted a nice chair at work, so she set a goal and she bought her own chair. That was the goal. That was the big goal that Jennifer was working towards. What was the next one? She wanted to fly home. I think it was Christmas. She wanted to fly home and see her family, so she set a goal to buy a plane ticket. Do you remember that, Jennifer?
Yeah, because my nieces are in Florida, and like I didn't get to go down when my first one was born, and like I just wanted to be able to go down and visit with them. So.
Yep. So like, but we all know Jennifer, you guys, this team has grown to what it is, and Jennifer's $1 million earner, all of that stuff, right? But what did it start with? Those small goals and those small wins, and then slowly over time, it increased to where it's at. So I want you guys to remember that as you're focusing on your new coaches. I fully believe big goals, big dreams are good, but take that focus off of that goal and put it on the small wins, on having fun with what they're doing and doing the small wins. And for you guys to last long term, remember this cash flow profit. Like to be honest with you guys, like this isn't going to happen, but my income could drop another 50% and I could be go from $1 million a year to $100,000 a year. And I don't have to throw my hands up, right? I can continue because the ones that win are the ones that persevere through hard times and whatnot. It's not going to go to that, but I wouldn't have to do that because I understand cash flow and profit for longevity in business. My business could go to zero, which it wouldn't do. But I've taken the money coming into my business. I've bought 3 different properties that are fully paid for except for one that produce income that I could live off of that, focus on my business without worrying about money, without working out of fear, and I could grow the business just like I did from day one, 0 to 45,000. I could do it again. It's not going to come to that, but I'm helping you understand what it means to be prepared and to understand that flat cash flow versus profit. That's one of the biggest things, not in Beachbody, but in business that takes people out, is they take all the money that comes in and they put it all back out. And then when they hit a hard year or a hard month, they're out. They have to foreclose on everything, give everything up to the bank, and they're out. So think about that long-term for your business on being smart with your money. So the 8th one is probably the most powerful. It is the most powerful. It's the strength of relationships. And that is not just Beachbody. Remember, this is longevity of your business, of any business. The strength of your relationships. That's going to be the strength of, I'm going to say it first and foremost, the strength of your relationship with yourself. Okay? I'll let that sink in for a little bit. Notice that. Relationship with yourself. Number 2, relationship with your customers. Actually, let's put coaches before your customers. Relationship with your coaches, relationship with your customers, and relationships with your prospects, and relationships with your entire community. Like the strength of that is going to create longevity for your business. I don't think I need to go into detail of why that's important, but it's why we missed out on it last year, unfortunately. It's why Mike and Jen and us meet and go snowboarding once a year. That relationship outside of the business. Yes, we get to see each other at Summit, but it's busy. You guys have your team. We have our team. Leadership, we have a little bit more opportunity to do that, but we focus on that relationship with our coaches and with our customers. and with our prospects. And what I want you guys to understand is if your relationship is good with your coaches, what's going to happen to the relationship of them with their customers if your relationship is good? It's going to go through the organization, from your coach to their customers, from your coach to their coaches. So I'm going to tell you guys, those are the 8 things. You guys can expand on them this weekend on how you can plan. Go back to the first one, plan. Come up with a plan to execute on these things. But I'm going to tell you guys, it's going to seem kind of funny because it's about Call of Duty. Okay. So you guys, I'm not going to go into detail, but you guys know, like, I literally 2.5 weeks ago thought I was prepared to die in like a week or two. Like that was my state of mind. That was my mental state when my doctor said, we need to get, are you okay? Can you get an MRI? Are you okay to go get an MRI? And I was like, he's like, why is that? I don't want to scare you. I was like, dude, just tell me. I'm worse off wondering what could be wrong with me than like not knowing. So just tell me. And he's like, you have all the pre-warning signs of, first, an aneurysm, which if you have an aneurysm, you die pretty much immediately or go brain dead, or you have a brain tumor. That's what I think. That's what I feel. So I feel we need to get an MRI because my doctor's appointment for that was like 2 weeks out and we need to do it right away. And so I went through that whole thing. Fortunately, I don't have signs of an aneurysm or a brain tumor, but I was in a bad place. I was depressed, sad, and I wasn't about me. Like, I was okay dying, which is weird to say, but I was scared about how Gabby's going to run this business, this team, how my kids are going to be raised without a father, all those things. Those were what were bothering me and making me a little bit depressed. Turns out I was stressed out, okay? I was stressed out, okay? Very stressed. And it wasn't just about my Beachbody business. Yes, like I don't want to say I'm not. It's highly likely that I might not hit elite this year. Okay, I've hit elite for 5 years. It'd be the first year that I don't hit elite. I was stressed on how to make that happen with the people that I have that are working towards it, pushing them past what they're wanting to do right now, how I'm going to feel not being an elite coach next year if that happens. I was putting all that stress and burden on me. Then I run the cab, right? And trying to steer the entire company of 400,000 people is a little bit stressful as well, as you can imagine. So I had that, trying to go for elite, cab. Gabby and I have been working on our relationship over the last year. That's been stressful. We're in the best place we've ever been right now, by the way. I just want you guys to know that. But that's been stressful. You guys know I wasn't at GoPro last year. I'll just tell you guys, if you don't know, Gabby and I were split up at that time. I had the kids by myself. Gabby was in Salt Lake with her family. We didn't know if we'd be back together. So that's stressful, right? Is that stressful or what? Mm-hmm. So we've dealt with that over the past year, but we're in an amazing place now. But I had that stress. I'm trying to innovate, right? And times are changing. My blog doesn't work like it used to work. My YouTube doesn't bring clients to me like it used to. So I'm like, I'm looking what's working in the technology world for marketing, and vlogging is working. So I made a decision to vlog every single day about my family's life, about what I do as an entrepreneur, as a father. I'm like, this is going to be a great way for people to really see who I am, how I run my business, how I fit being a father in and running a business in. But what did I do? On top of running a business, every day I would wake up thinking about what I could put into my video for that day to make it entertaining and fun. So I'd be shooting video clips all day, running my business. When my kids would get home, I'm shooting videos of my kids, doing things with my kids, doing activities, like doing all these challenges. I'd put my kids to bed, and all I can think about is how long is it going to take me to edit that video? Then I got to upload it, put it up, so it's up. And then I would categorize and systemize everything. Okay, I got like 20 minutes to read scriptures with Gabby and to pray, and then we got like an hour to watch her show if we have time. And then I got 5.5 hours of sleep, so I can get up and run my Beachbody business. I did that, and I've made a vlog for 6 weeks in a row. You guys think that would cause a little stress? My mind never shut off, ever shut off for 6 weeks. And then I was at CAB meetings talking about these new challenge packs and how to change the direction of the company. That's a little stressful. And then What did I do? I jumped out of a freaking airplane. You think that's going to put a little stress on your body? And then the next morning, I thought I was dying of an aneurysm when I went unconscious in the shower with a pain in the back of my head. So that's where I got to. So I got put on, I don't have an aneurysm. It turns out I had an extra amount of stress. So I let go. I didn't back off my business. I didn't back off my elite goal. I just let go of the stress of what's going to happen if I don't hit it. I'm going to push for it. I let go of the stress. I released that from myself, and I stopped vlogging every day. And I started listening to classical music, and I started meditating. Wait, I didn't do that yet. I went on blood pressure medication and kept doing those things. And I felt depressed, and I cried for like a half hour on my personally sponsored coach page. And I was like, I don't know why I'm crying. I'm depressed, and I'm sad, and I hate feeling like this, and I need you guys' help, and I'm not going to be on blood pressure medication anymore. I need to figure this out. I don't care if we don't hit elite. I want you guys to try, but I don't care. I care, but I don't care. And I let that go. And then I started meditating, listening to classical music, and I stopped vlogging every day. I'm just doing it like once a week. And I started playing Call of Duty just like twice a week, having fun, doing something that's not work where I can just unplug, leave my phone upstairs, no kids, no wife, no business, just me. So meditating and doing that. So I'm meditating every day, which has been phenomenal. So if you guys don't actually, I used to say I meditated and did the miracle morning, but for me, it was like go in the backyard, do this a couple of times, look at the sunrise, and be like, okay, I meditated. And it was like a minute. But I'm actually doing like a guided meditation, and I do it 3 times a day when I wake up, after my workout and my personal development, before I start working, and then right when I'm done working, I meditate so I can release everything and be with my family 100%. Well, my blood pressure and everything is 100% perfect. Okay, with no I stopped taking the medication. My blood pressure is perfect. My resting heartbeat is 58 beats a minute, which is crazy, awesome. A little bit low, but it's like phenomenal. No stress. I haven't had headaches, and like that headache that put me unconscious, that happened twice before. I haven't had any of those, and it's from meditating, doing things I love, or doing something for me that's outside of business, and then not having to think about work all the time. Okay, so I let go of that vlog thing. So I'm going to tell you guys about this call, and then I'm got to let you guys. Holy cow! It's already 10:18 here. So I'm going to tell you about Call of Duty. So this is you guys might not understand this, but it's a game. You play online with other people. You have teams like 8 people against 8 people. You shoot each other, and whoever shoots the other team more, if you kill somebody, you get a point. If they kill you, they get a point. You get to 75 points, your team wins. So usually I played once a month with my friend. I have for like 6 years, just once a month, a guy's night. Well, when I play, this is a crazy thing. When I play, I kill like 10 people around, and I get killed like 22 times. So I'm like not one of the best players on the team, because those kids play all day long, which is unfortunate. But I kill like 10 people, die like 22 times. I'm not very good at that, at being a team player and helping my team that much. Funniest thing happened. I've been meditating for 2 weeks. I meditated. Well, when I was meditating because the kids were coming home, and then it turns out right when the kids came home, they all had play dates, and they all left, and Gabby was gone. And I'm like, sweet, I'm going to play Call of Duty. I went downstairs right after my meditation, and I played, and everyone I killed more than 20 people, and I had like 3 deaths and 5 deaths each time. I know that may sound crazy because you guys don't play Call of Duty, but what happened is my mind was calm. Like I wasn't panicked and frantic and have all this mumble jumble in my head of everything on my mind, to where if someone killed me, I go running full speed, throwing grenades and shooting and running. Like I played with a strategy. Like I played calmly. I understood what the other team was doing because I was like paying attention, and I had a strategy, and I kicked ass. And I didn't just do it for one. I did it for like 2 hours straight.